Roti. I'm a singer, a musician, a songwriter, singer, producer, music director, all of that and more. Check me out on Rotimikeys. Rotimikeys is a human being. Well, I was born sometime in the 80s, grew up in a Christian home. I grew up very, very Christian, and I was raised right, if I put it that way. I stepped into music very early in my life. Like, I got introduced to music with the records my father used to play, turntables he used to play in the house, cassette players he used to play in the house. So as early as 3, I remember that. The funny thing is, I still remember some events from my 3rd year, as early as 3, 4. Sometimes my parents will be singing in the room, and then me and my elder brother and my younger sister back then, toddler, would go into the room and sing with them, and then I would break out into harmonies. I still remember there was a day my father stepped out of the room, and then he heard me singing harmony, and he came back, and he was like, "Who taught you to sing harmony?" And I was like, it was just what I heard in my head, So, and then from there, obviously, church at a young age. They literally dragged myself and my elder brother into the choir. I got introduced to the drums, the keyboards. So as at age 11, I was already playing the keyboards. I was playing the drums first. I was playing the bass guitar. I started playing the electric guitar. So I started out pretty early. And for me, music, what I do now, has always been a part of my life. They were deliberate about our faith. Yes. The music part just latched on based on that. It wasn't like, they didn't send me to music school, they didn't do any of that. But at the same time, they didn't stop me. When they saw that, okay, this boy is beginning to latch onto this music thing, it's becoming a bit overwhelming. He's always too interested in it. But they never said, "Oh, don't do it." The only time my parents raised concerns was when it started to affect my education. Because I was the kind of guy who was always first and second and all that. And then all of a sudden, I'm 12. I'm 12, I'm 10. And my mom was, "Dude, what's going on?" I'm not saying you don't do your music, but don't let it affect you. For me, that was the only time that I had a bit of, a brushing with my parents about the music thing. But apart from that, no, they didn't stop me. My journey has been interesting. It's had its ups and downs. There have been times when I've been discouraged, man. There have been times I've been like, is this thing worth it? Earlier in life. Oh yeah. Sometimes people see us and they believe, they just think, oh, this kind of people know they get a problem now. That kind of thing.
Do you?
Oh yeah, absolutely it is. And the truth is, it takes you a while for you to recognize that the ups and downs are just a part of life. But at first, especially the first set of, down times you encounter, you just be like, man, what is this? It's when you come out of it and then you look back. And then you're like, okay, this is what God was trying to teach me in the season, or this is the character that was built in me during that season. Okay, I'm much better now. And then you keep going forward. The next time something like that comes up again, you learn from it, you move forward. So for me, it's a part of life. Most of the productions I've had to do, or collaborations, either in the place of music, advertising, sound design, movies and all that, most of them have come from, I will say, me just walking into the right places at the right time, really, because I've had people call me, "Oh, I have been a fan of yours for a while," and I'm like, "Baba, na me be your fan, or why are you telling me I've been a fan of yours for a while?" But they've heard my name in places, or I'm recommended by someone, or we've done a project before that, I sort of produced them indirectly, and they'll be like, "Who is this guy?" So for me, that has been most of my connections with people. Yeah, that's the way it's been over time, So from advertising to music to even actually performing on stage, most of the time it's, I've known this person, and then they hear my work, and then they hear some of the things I've done. Yeah, pretty much most of the time. So honestly, I will say this, and I will say this to the world at every point in time. I will not trade my parents for anybody else in the world. I think God gave me the best parents anyone could ever wish for. Because, as I said, they had the expectations, but they didn't put it on any of us children. They just wanted us to be successful. You know what? You want to carve your own path? Fine. I'm just going to pray for you that you're successful at it. So when it came to the time when it was all music, and sometimes I will be out of the house for months. They didn't know this was pre-GSM Arena days. And I will be out of the house for months in school. The school will be on break, but I will not come home because I'm going from one gig to another studio and all that. They never for once say, what are you even doing, Seth? There was a day my mom called me. She was like, when GSM came, right? I remember that my first phone, she called me one day. She was like, how are you doing this, boy? How are you coping? I was like, oh, good. But I guess they've always known me that, hey, boy, just leave him. He knows what he wants to do. I've always been like that. So I guess maybe because they knew that about me, over time they understood that about me, and then they just, let me be. So somehow at the back of my mind, I always knew I would have to one day. I guess I just never got to that place where I accepted it. So there's something about us creatives. There's something we call imposter syndrome. You feel like, this thing, you're a fraud if you try to do this. Are you sure you are the one who can? You are not even good enough. You can't sing it. It happens to the best of us.
I can relate.
Okay, so I'm glad you can. I knew there will have to be a time when I will have to face that. I'd always known that for years, but I guess it wasn't time. So everything didn't align to make that happen, right? But in the last 2-3 years, everything has just been coming together like, dude, it's time. Oh yeah, you have to do it, whether you like it or not. So it was always going to happen, it was just a matter of when. And as I said earlier, you live in denial a bit. Okay, I'll do it later, Jerry. Or let me even get someone else to come and sing it, Jerry. I don't have to be doing it. But after a while, you have to look yourself in the eye and say, guy, you are doing this. So pretty much in the last 2-3 years, yeah, I've had to get to that place where I knew that, okay, guy, it's time. You have to start this. So honestly, for me, and this is me going all, I won't call it spiritual about this, but the way music works for me is, people say, oh, music is spiritual, music is spiritual. It is, but spiritual has different aspects,
sure,
right? There are different lanes in the spiritual. For me, the most authentic spiritual aspect of music is you and God, what He gives to you, what you receive, and then you share that with the world, right? And for me, that's where most of my songs come from. When you hear me, I won't say I write. I don't sit down and say, okay, you know what, we need to write a hit. Nah, I don't do that.
It's the way you described it for me, write a hit.
I don't do that. So most of the songs that I sing are songs that I'm probably on my morning jog, I'm driving, and then I just start hearing things in my head. Sometimes I have to park, bring my phone out, put on my voice note recorder, record it, and then continue. That's how I receive. Ori Official, for example, happened on a morning jog, literally from beginning to end.
Maybe I should start jogging.
This year, I woke up with it. I literally woke up, got out of bed. I remember I was staring at my wife and I was singing, "Now me get this, yeah," line by line. Everything I do, I knew I had to grab my voice note recorder and record it because I could lose it if I don't record it. I think, yeah, and that's to be expected, really, because everybody has their own interpretation of information that is given to them, right? You receive new information. If both of us, if someone wearing white walked into this room now, I might say, oh, this is white. You might say, oh, no, this is beige or something. And then we'll start, going back and forth about it. So it's the same thing. Out of 100 people who go oh, this is my song for the year, or this resonates with me. You will have that one person who will say, oh, you are being loyal to this person, or what is this? Why do you have to? I'm like, Oga, as I have received the song, I am sharing it with you. You do what you want to do with it. And also, mind you, it wasn't a human being who invented that. It's literally a Yoruba speak that says, it's my turn, So, yeah, there has been a bit of people who think, but really that pales in comparison to the other people who have been blessed by it, really. The funny thing is, my wife asked me the question, like, you this boy that you always, music is your entire life. We're not doing music, what will you be there? And I was blank for a while. Because I'm like, okay, I probably would have done something else out of necessity, maybe tech. Yeah, I probably would have done tech. Not the accounting, definitely, no, for sure. Not the accounting, because even if I started with it, I probably would have just gone and looked the MD in the face one day and say, guy, I'm not even going to write a letter to resign. I'm out, I'm not coming back. That kind of thing. But I may have done a bit of tech, but even if I wasn't doing music, I probably most likely will still be in the creative space. Because apart from music, I also do a bit of lighting, and also do a bit of video, all the sound design on the side, and all that. So I probably will still be in the creative space. The grace of God, well, for me, as I said, I'm not under pressure to release a hit song. Quotes. I don't try to do that. As I have received, so I will share. And as much as possible, I will put my best into it. Everything that God has put into me, I will put it into it to make sure it's an amazing piece of work, and then I share it with the world. But that's it. But as you said, yes, there's so much still coming this year by the grace of God. So watch out. I will say God. And, it's easy for us to just say, oh, what's your secret? Say God. No, for me, it rings a deeper meaning than just being trying to be humble. No. I know that there is nothing that I have not received. There's nothing that I aspire to be that has not already been created for me. So outside God, I can't stand. So even in my lowest of times, I know that God, you are in this with me. At the highest of heights, you are there with me. At the lowest of lows, you are there with me. So you are the one taking me through all of this. So at every point in time, I just try to be conscious of the fact that I have a God who loves me when I can even never love myself, who loves me when I can love him back. He's put so much on the inside of me. So all I'm going to do is day by day, dig deep into that, share it with the world, let my life just be a reflection of the light he has put on the inside of me. Give him glory, give him praise with my life. That's it. I'm probably going to be a bit nerdy about this because most people that I am looking forward to are probably not your musicians, in quote.
Okay.
Someone like Jacob Collier. If you know, Jacob Collier is an amazing British. I would call him a pianist. He's a musician. He plays different instruments. There's Adam Blackstone. Adam Blackstone is probably one of the most popular music directors in the world right now. I'm also a music director, so I would want to work with someone like that. On the music side, there are a few people here and there. John Bellion is in my, radar, in quote. This guy from Maverick City, what's his name? This dark guy from Maverick City. He's there. There are a few people here and there. There is also, I have seen a few artists from South Africa that I know that if I had the chance, I would like to, because South Africa also has some really dope sounds, if I have to.
I'm on piano.
Yeah, right. Well, we took Amapiano from them and then we made it our own, but it originated from there. So there are a few people here and there, music directors, artists, keyboard players, that I know that with time. And there are a few people that I have wanted to work with in times past that I've actually ended up working with, so on the music side of things, so I'm sure it's still going to happen. Okay. Hi guys, Rotimikeys here. Keep watching Rapid TV.